strongest army on Earth in the 13th century. 80 samurai against thousands of Mongol and Korean troops. How could victory be possible? No, it's not possible to win. This is the true story of warriors who rode willingly into death, the birth of the Bushido spirit, and the first time Japan was ever invaded by the most powerful empire on Earth. A miracle forged by human courage and the divine hand of nature itself. Stay until the end and discuss it with us.
Japan has never tasted invasion. Not once since the day they built their nation. This is both an opportunity and a challenge for you. Because they've never been invaded, they cannot truly measure the strength of a foreign enemy. But what about the difficulty? Ignorant means fearless. They will not surrender easily.
They are decent warriors.
No, they are nothing.
Win this campaign, and your name will join the ranks of the Empire's great generals. This is your biggest chance. This is not just about conquest. No, the pride of the great Mongol Empire, which tolerates no insolent defiance. An empire that began from a single band of horsemen and expanded to conquer the world. The Rus nobles, they thought themselves warriors. They trusted their heavy cavalry. We needed none of that to crush them. We are Mongols. We strike from where they least expect. We pretend to retreat, then turn and strike again. We are the wrath of God, and we bring terror to all who oppose us. We fight with our minds. We understand our enemies. Genghis Khan heirs. We know what they crave most, the way they act when paralyzed by fear. The way they cannot bear humiliation, driven to reckless, impulsive actions. What they are proudest of. What they fear most. What's their nightmare? What's their despair? We see the path to their destruction. We know their deepest sin. We know their pitiful hopes. Those who are conquered become tools for the next campaign. War feeds on war. They can never stand against us as long as we keep pressing our invasion. We are the storm that will sweep Japan clean. So tell me, what have you learned about Japan?
A few years before the invasion began, a quiet conflict was already tearing Japan from within.
Using violence never worked. Do not rush. You must be conciliatory. Actually, we never fully control them.
There's no time. Mongol will attack soon. We unite is a must. We unite, or Japan will fall.
Is there no way to unite without bloodshed? I believe that. We can negotiate with the Western clans.
Being soft is too risky. The Western clans overvalue their own rank.
That is no reason to spark conflict. Together, or we die. We manipulate.
Control.
Words of wisdom spoken by wise men of Japan.
焼け石に水
You are only making things harder. The situation grows worse because of rigidity. Clans could rebel at any moment as pressure mounts.
No need to worry. I have prepared every plan, ready to extinguish the seeds of rebellion once and for all. For Japan.
Your dictatorship will bring Japan to ruin. This is a complex political game.
Someone has to do it. Now or never.
A few months later, behind closed doors, secret talks unfolded.
Tokimune is brave, but too young. I need to reassure the Western clans to have a chance to unite hearts in peace. Though it will be dangerous, I accept it.
Japan's fate hangs by a thread. There is no room for personal feelings. Whatever brings harm to Japan must be eliminated.
What do they say in response? Do they agree?
My lord, they are silent.
Tokisuke stood firm for peace until the very end.
Send another letter.
Yes, my lord.
Intelligence shows the Western lords are plotting something.
We found letters between them.
And Lord Tokisuke.
When will they be ready?
They are ready.
This is the final option.
Before they act, we must seize the initiative.
In February 1272, Tokumun purged all opposing forces to seize absolute power, eliminating long-term risk. In that internal turmoil known as the February Rebellion, potential risks were eliminated cleanly once and for all. And among them, unfortunately, was his own brother, Tokisuke. To this day, it's unclear whether Tokisuke truly planned a coup, but Tokumun's preemptive actions were decisive. All power concentrated in one hand. Will the price be justified?
My lord, the Mongols are on the verge of swallowing the whole of the southern Song.
They are much stronger than Song, my lord.
My lord.
As Amaterasu descendants, surrender is humiliation. We have to fight to our last man.
Yes, my lord.
My lord, the things the ministers dare not say at court, you understand them.
Think in their heads, do you suppose I do not know? Because I too carry an invisible fear, the enemy appears for the first time. A threat to wipe out this entire people. In my mind is their expeditionary army, raiding our villages, slaughtering the innocent. Could the line of Japan truly be ended in this age? Warriors proud and noble, falling down, drowned in a sea of fire and wrath. There goes our last guardians that protect Japan. Even the wind and thunder gods cannot shield us. By their very presence, they are the storms that sweep across. Before the storm, what can mortals like us do? I sought answers at the temple. Sensei, you must already know. The Mongol, the fury coming from Yomi, seems like there is no chance. I am afraid, and my people are afraid.
Do not resist. Let the fear fill you.
What's that supposed to mean? I don't understand.
The fear fill you, then you can step beyond it. That is a journey you must make yourself.
That is a journey I must make myself. To face the rawest fear within. A solitary journey. To step through the darkness. To confront illusions. Many of them will become real. In the unreal there is truth. In the real, there is illusion. Regulate your breath. Find stillness in the heart. There is no choice but to face head-on. The future where my people slaughtered, warriors slain. What hurts the most, what the mind tries to avoid, what we bury in the deepest places. Am I ready for this? This is truly painful. No, I am not ready. I am only mortal. Weak and fragile. My heart cannot be still like the gods. I'm afraid, always. But I can only keep walking. Afraid there's no other way. Do not think of what comes next. It's the journey inside my mind. Fear itself. Alone, between the wasteland and the deepest primitive fear, I found it. The darkest nightmare. There's no end of this. In the utter darkness, there is light. In the utter fear, there is hope. The hope that comes for those who endure. I see the light. I see how warriors can be truly courageous. Only after they accept their darkest corner inside their mind, embrace their fears. Isn't that what you want me to learn, dear God? At the end of every dark tunnel, there is the light of the goddess Amaterasu. This will be the guiding light for our people. This is the lesson from the highest deity. When you pass through the dark, you gain compassion. When people have the desire to protect and cherish one another. Consistency. When people stand firm with their chosen path. Respect. When people learn to honor every breath, every life. Loyalty. When we live ready to die for something. Justice. When people choose the right thing to pursue and revere. Honor. When people choose to guard an inner value. Courage. When small people are willing to stand against the whole world. We must continue to live. So these values are passed down for generations. We will fight the Mongols to the last man, and we will prevail. Katsu.
On November 2nd, 1274, the Mongols launched an invasion of Japan with 23,000 troops. They began from Tsushima Island, the closest point to Korean shores. Most of their forces were drawn from northern Song soldiers and Goryeo sailors. For Holden, this was the chance of a lifetime, a path into the ranks of the empire's elite generals. He embraced it with fervent ambition. The invaders landed upon the beaches of Tsushima. It was the first time Japanese warriors faced a foreign invader, and fate decreed their first enemy would be the most powerful army on earth. Holden remembered the words Kubilai had spoken to him. In this war, you fight for Mongol pride and honor. So, how did Japan prepare for the coming storm? Messengers rode through mountains and shores, summoning every clan to arms.
My lord, Tokumun has called for the armies of all Japan.
I wish to see whether my samurai are stronger or the Mongols are. Ready yourselves for death.
Japan's strength was scattered across its great clans, yet in that moment, all became one. Hojo clan. Our wisdom and discipline command Japan itself, and will guiding the nation to stand against the world's strongest enemy. Matsura clan. Wherever the terrain shifts, they adapt with shrewd precision to seize the upper hand. Shimazu clan, forged in fire and steel, their tenacity and supreme swordsmanship create the breaking points that turn the tide of war. Kikuchi clan, proud sons of Higo, masters of coordination between cavalry and infantry. Their formations crush every defensive line. Omoto clan, they bend the forces of nature, wind, rain, and storm into weapons of their own. Shoni clan, keepers of supply and thunder on the battlefield. Their blades roar like lightning, fierce and unstoppable. Taira clan, once ruling all Japan. Their unshakable spirit knows no fear, no matter how mighty the foe. So clan, Masters of the bow and fearless in close combat, the first to stand for Japan's defense. Under my command, all have answered the call.
The Mongol-Goryeo coalition prepares to land on the beaches of Tsushima. As expected, they bring no cavalry.
They bring no cavalry, but we do. Summon all 80 warriors, ready for a deathmatch. This is a battle that walks into the realm of the dead. There is no chance of returning victorious. A sign from the god of war is ill-omened, and that makes everything simpler. We need not hesitate. We only need to die with honor and beauty, fighting. Let our sacrifice today make Japan proud. Yeah! Without cavalry, the Mongols lose their natural edge. They are brave, yet far from home their strengths will be muted. One of our warriors against 100 enemies. A glorious ratio indeed. Challenge them to single combat. Show them. Show them. Japanese warriors do not fear death.
A lone rider approaches. They want to challenge us one-on-one. Such primitive thinking, while we Mongols conquer the world with strategy and cunning. These Japanese still cling to single combat. Not bad. So naive.
No honor! Kill them all!
Only 80 enemies, a chance to drill our troops. Their fighters happen to be mounted archers. Not only that, they can charge like heavy cavalry. Somewhat comparable to our Kashig and Kipchak. Shame we cannot bring our cavalry across the sea. They surprise us. Nearly 80 warriors holding us off until night. By fighting to the death. I pray not every Japanese is like this.
The desperate stand of those 80 warriors marks the beginning of the long defenses to come. Japan, on the brink of extermination.
Why did the Mongols invade Japan? Firstly, it is the ambition of universal rule and Kublai Khan's need to consolidate power. After unifying China and founding the Yuan dynasty in 1271, Kublai Khan had a dream that went far beyond borders. He wanted to bring all of East Asia under one order, what he believed was heaven's plan for the world. By that time, the Mongols had already conquered or forced tribute from nearly every major kingdom around them, Central Asia. Persia, Tibet, Korea, Burma even diverged. But there was one small island nation that refused to bow, Japan. And Japan just ignored every demand for surrender from Kublai Khan. For a man who ruled from the Pacific to the Black Sea, that wasn't just defiance. It was a personal insult to his authority and to what he believed was his divine right to rule the world. You can think of it like how ancient Rome demanded loyalty from every kingdom around the Mediterranean to keep their Pax Romana, the Roman peace. Or like how the early Arab Caliphate believed it was their sacred duty to expand the faith. The Mongols had the same kind of mindset. They saw themselves as chosen by heaven to rule all people under the sky. Secondly is strategic and economic motives in the eastern seas. After conquering Korea, Kublai Khan turned to the ocean. He wanted to cut Japan off from the southern Song, control sea trade routes, and seized Japan's valuable resources: gold, silver, and sulfur. He also planned to build naval bases in Japan to dominate the East China Sea and the Pacific. But beyond strategy, the Mongol Empire needed war to survive. Without new enemies, its power and unity would fade. Japan, rich and nearby, became the next target, both a challenge and a prize. And third reason is the clash of cultures and imperial pride. Beneath the politics was a deeper clash of beliefs. The Mongols saw themselves as chosen by heaven to rule the world. The Japanese believed their islands were sacred, protected by the gods. To Kublai, tribute was natural. To Japan, it was an insult. So when the Mongol fleet came in 1274, it wasn't just a war. It was a spiritual confrontation between empire and faith, between the will to conquer and the will to stay free.
Why did Japan dare to resist the Mongols? First of all, Japanese have a deep sense of cultural independence. They absorbed many ideas from China: writing, religion, and political systems, but always reshaped them in a uniquely Japanese form. The Japanese used Chinese characters, yet created kana, their own scripts, to capture their native language. They embraced Buddhism, but transformed it through Zen, blending meditation with the discipline of the warrior. They studied Chinese models of government, but built a military society rooted in loyalty, honor, and personal duty. Their cultural exchange was strong, but sovereignty was sacred. Secondly is their spirit of warrior. Japan's defiance came not just from strategy, but from belief, moral, spiritual, and deeply personal. From the traditions of Confucian and Taoist thought came the conviction that honor is worth more than life itself. This belief grew into the foundation of Bushido, the samurai code that would later define Japanese identity, a code built on loyalty, courage, and integrity. During the Mongol invasion, this spirit came to life. At the Battle of Tsushima, a small force of about 80 samurai under Sosuke Kuni faced nearly 8,000 Mongol soldiers. They knew they could not win, but they fought to the end, choosing death over surrender. Their sacrifice became a timeless example of protecting the homeland with absolute devotion. From Zen Buddhism, warriors learned to face death without fear. Meditation taught them to see mortality as part of life's natural flow. A moment of clarity, not despair. To die for one's duty was not a tragedy, it was transcendence. And in Shinto belief, the Japanese saw their islands as sacred ground, blessed by divine protection. They believed themselves to be descendants of Amaterasu, the sun goddess, and that the gods watched over their land. And finally is the motivation from the Kamakura shogunate, power through loyalty. In the 13th century, Japan was not a centralized empire. Power was divided between two poles. In Kyoto, the emperor embodied legitimacy and the sacred order. In the east, the Kamakura shogunate, ruled by the Hojo clan, held the real military and administrative power. The shogunate's strength rested on the loyalty of local warrior families, the Gokenin. These vassals were bound not by fear, but by trust and by reward. They fought for honor, for recognition, and for land. Without war, loyalty would fade. Without purpose, power would weaken. When the Mongol threat appeared, the shogunate saw both peril and opportunity. War could destroy Japan, but it could also unite the warriors, renew loyalty, and reaffirm the sacred duty to protect the realm. In that sense, the Mongol invasion became a test not only of armies, but of identity. Japan stood not as a mere island resisting conquest, but as a civilization defending its soul.
Hojo Tokimune stands as a symbolic leader in Japan's history, a figure who embodied the nation's courage and spirit. Hojo Tokimune was born into the powerful Hojo family in Kamakura, the heart of Japan's samurai government. From an early age, he trained both in the martial discipline of the warrior and the inner discipline of Zen, a rare combination even among samurai. He was known for his calm nature, strict self-control, and unshakable will. At just 17, Tokimune was appointed Shiken, regent and true powerful ruler of Japan, even though in name, authority still rested with the emperor and the shogun. That same year, 1268, a letter arrived from Kublai Khan demanding that Japan submit and pay tribute to the Mongol Empire. It was the first warning of a storm that would soon shake all of East Asia. Let's talk about his leadership during the Mongol invasions. When faced with Kublai Khan's demands, Tokimune chose defiance. He rejected the Mongol letters, refused any demanding, and called the entire nation to arms. Under his command, Japan built strong coastal defenses around Hakata Bay and strengthened the unity of the samurai. More than that, he gave the warriors a spiritual weapon, Zen Buddhism, teaching them to face death with calm and clarity. One story tells that when Tokimune confessed to his master that he felt fear before the coming war, Buko told him, "Go straight into it." Tokimune closed his eyes, gathered his breath, and shouted one word, "Katsu," meaning victory. That shout became a symbol of Japan's spirit, turning fear into wisdom and doubt into resolve. When the Mongol invasions came in 1274 and 1281, Tokimune's leadership, combined with the fateful kamikaze or divine wind, preserved Japan's independence. It was the only nation in East Asia that never bowed to Mongol rule. What made Tokimune so special? Tokimune represented everything the samurai stood for: discipline, calm, loyalty, and righteousness. He was not just a strategist but also a man of principle, leading through wisdom and moral strength rather than fear. Long after his time, Tokimune's legacy continued to shape Japan. Politically, he strengthened the samurai class a renewed sense of unity. Culturally, he helped Zen Buddhism become the spiritual core of Bushido, the way of the warrior, where true strength comes from stillness. His story remains deeply respected in modern Japan. In 2001, Japan's national broadcaster, NHK, released a 49-episode drama celebrating the 750th anniversary of his birth, retelling his life from youth to the great defense against Kublai Khan's invasion. The series was both a historical tribute and a reflection of national pride. Today, Hojo Tokimune is remembered as the man who kept the divine country standing in the storm of empires. He remains a timeless symbol of Japan's courage, self-discipline, and spiritual strength, proof that true victory begins in the mind.
Why did Japan have so few soldiers compared to their population? When we look at the numbers, it's surprising. In the late 13th century, Japan's population was around 5 to 7 million people. During the Mongol invasions, the defending army was only about 10 to 15,000. Why so few? To answer that, we need to understand the Gokenin military system of the Kamakura period. At that time, Japan didn't have a national army. There was no such thing as universal conscription. Instead, military power was built around a feudal network created by Minamoto no Yoritomo, the founder of the Kamakura shogunate in 1185. This system was called Gokenin, literally house vassals. The Gokenin were samurai officially recognized as vassals of the Kamakura shogunate, loyal to the shogun. Samurai weren't just soldiers, they were a social class, warriors with their own land, honor, and code of conduct. To become a samurai, one had to meet 5 key conditions. Lineage. Most samurai of the 13th century were descendants of warrior families from the Heian and Genpei wars, clans like the Minamoto, the Taira, and the Hojo. Land ownership. A samurai needed to hold land, both to sustain his family and to fund his troops. Martial skill. From the age of 10, boys trained in Yabusame, horseback archery, Kenjutsu, swordsmanship, Kyujutsu, archery, and Sojutsu, spear combat. Moral conduct. A true samurai lived by loyalty, honesty, compassion, respect, and honor. Early values that later evolved into Bushido, the way of the warrior. Legal recognition. One had to be officially registered and sworn to answer the shogunate's call to arm. This strict structure gave the Kamakura government complete control over the country's military resources. But it also meant that the warrior class was small, only about 5 to 7% of the total population. And among them, only around 1/5 were active fighters. That's why even with millions of people, the army that faced the Mongols numbered only in the tens of thousands. Another factor was geography. The shogunate mainly mobilized samurai families from Kyushu, the southern island facing the Asian continent. That region held the largest concentration of military power, roughly 10 to 15,000 warriors. But Japan's fragmented geography made large-scale mobilization nearly impossible. There were no highways or major transport canals linking Kyushu to the rest of the country. Moving horses, weapons, and food was a massive challenge. So when the Mongol fleet appeared off Kyushu in 1274, Japan could only muster a modest force. Small in number, but fierce in spirit.
How did only 80 samurai hold off the Mongol army for a whole day? The Battle of Tsushima in 1274 is one of the most striking moments in Japan's history. A story that shows how terrain, courage, and spirit can defy overwhelming odds. On that small island between Korea and Kyushu, about 80 samurai, led by Sosuke Kuni, faced thousands of Mongol and Korean troops. They fought for almost an entire day before being wiped out. But in doing so, they delayed the invasion and warned Kamakura of what was coming. Why were they able to last so long? First, the terrain. The Sasura beach was narrow, trapped between forest and sea, making it impossible for the Mongols' large ships to land all their troops at once. The invaders had to advance in small groups, constantly exposed to arrows and spears from the defenders. The tight space neutralized their advantage in numbers and cavalry. Second, the spirit of the samurai. The defenders didn't wait behind walls, they attacked first. They used every rock, every tree, every ridge to strike and retreat, forcing the Mongols into close combat under circumstances where they faced quite a lot disadvantages. The Mongols, trained for open field battles, suddenly found themselves trapped in chaos. Since they couldn't transport the horse through the sea to Japan, they have no cavalry to deploy. They were unable to carry out massive offensives to quickly sweep through their enemies. Sosuke Kuni must have known he couldn't win. He fought to buy time, to send a warning to the mainland, and he succeeded. Tsushima wasn't just the first battle of the invasion. It was a lesson, a reminder that war isn't decided by numbers alone, but by the spirit of those willing to stand and die for something greater than themselves.